guys, I'm Cassandra and I'm an artist, or at least like I think I am. And that's kind of what I wanted to make this video about. My own personal internal conflict that comes with being an artist in the 21st century. Sometimes I'm like afraid that if I am online too frequently or if I post my work too often, that I won't be taken seriously as an artist. Because for a long time I had this idea that to be an artist was to be like isolated and kind of hidden from the world until suddenly discovered. And really ever since the Industrial Revolution, that hasn't been the case. We've flipped the idea of what it means to be an artist. And honestly, it just astonishes me how we even went from like caveman paintings to influencers. Since the beginning of human civilization, artists have played this significant role in expressing like ideas and emotions about the world around them. And then when we hit like the Renaissance era, we had Michelangelo, Raphael, Da Vinci, and these artists were like revolutionized in the sense of using math and science along their work to express ideas, but they weren't technologically advanced. Back then, you could only be seen by like those in close proximity around you. So artists like during the Renaissance era had to either do like public markets. Back then, Catholic churches commissioned works from artists. And then we have like families that were very wealthy that they would hire these artists to do portraits for them, like kind of like sponsor the artist to work and do, you know, either for living costs, food, and probably some extra cash. In this era as well, we had the intermediaries that were like the art dealer merchants that would take the artist's work and expose it beyond the public market. So we get like this higher level of artists, right? Because their work is being shown, you know, overseas or very far away from where they are currently at. The Industrial Revolution really changed everything because then we have the photograph. And when the photograph was invented, it just created this whole like wave of artists who didn't need to really know how to paint, sculpt, or build. They can really just take a snap picture and capture a whole moment. And that just changed everything. And then in the 19th and 20th century, we're getting like machines, and these machines are reproducing art in like a mass scale. And this brings in like Dadaism and the pop art movement, where we just like love mass media and consumer culture. And then in the late 20th century, we have the dot-com boom, and this is literally just artists able to display their artworks online. We no longer needed institutions to showcase our work. I do feel though that after 2020, everything became even more turned on its head because we had, you know, Instagram was there, but then TikTok happened, and I feel like TikTok really just amplified everything with the release of hashtags, viral videos, the accessibility to have your work seen by so many people, viralness happening, and it can be you if you're lucky, right? Being displayed online is an integral part of the artist ecosystem. I didn't really experience social media until my adolescence, so I've always just had the old idea instilled in me, like my age-old, you know, programming of believing that a true artist had to be validated by like a higher institution in order to be considered, you know, an artist, or be bought by wealthy collectors to really be a true successful artist and have a true art career. But I think I have an advantage for growing up in the cusp of social media and like the older way of thinking of what it meant to be an artist, because I can also see like the drawbacks that social media does bring into being an artist. It can alter the way we perceive art because we have to experience it like in a digital format, so you won't really like get the true representation of like scale and texture, or just the presence that artwork can actually bring you. I also do worry about the depth of artwork because we are just so inclined to create like visually striking content, and a lot of it. So how can we still create depth in our artwork when it is so on the surface, because we're limited to certain parameters of like time, you know, type of camera you have. There's just so many other limitations that could go with having to post your work online. And another thing that goes into like the depth of an artwork, like everyone's attention span is so small. Like there's only so much that you can do in a short time frame to really express what your art is about. And even like making long form content like this, like very few people are able to sit and watch this long form content. Things aren't really clear with copyright laws and infringements. I know this falls into like capitalism and what it means to be a professional artist in capitalism, but it's like, yeah, if people can like easily duplicate your art and sell it, then you can't manage your own profits for your work. So now we're like oversimplifying concepts, which again just destroys art, or what we thought art was. And I know I'm guilty for this, like I do it myself, but it's me trying to adapt into being a creator professionally in this world. Social media just places a burden on artists because we have to cultivate this like personal brand, online presence, which is where I get that whole feeling of like, am I an artist? Am I a small business? Or am I an influencer? Like we're kind of being pushed through social media to place these boxes on ourselves, right? And even though I think that social media has democratized art, I still personally feel that it's not really equal across all boards. Like some people have more money, more reliable internet connections. Some people like have the algorithm on their side while others don't. So this can also create disparities and opportunities for exposure. Then we think about like digital literacy and how people have to be keeping up with the times and how art being displayed online is shifting. And there are millennials that I know who will never touch an Instagram reel or any type of short form video content out of their own principles of just feeling like that's not my era, that's not how I will display my artwork. And that can just be so limiting to that person. They're, you know, choosing to stand on those principles can leave you behind, even if you're extremely talented. We've come to the conclusion that social media and technology is integral to the artist's presence and their ecosystem. So it's about using social media in a way that aligns with you as a person, right? Like I said, there are millennials I know who will not post an Instagram reel, and though it may halt their ability to, you know, get a lot of followers or go viral, maybe their goal isn't that. So I think like if you're an artist and your goal is to sell to luxurious clients, to be in galleries, then maybe posting like cringe audio reels won't be the best bet. Like,
it costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours.
It may seem unprofessional or gimmicky to an institution if they were to see an artist use like these cringe audio reels that I've been hearing lately. But no shade to people who use trending audio reels. Like you can spend a lot of time making artsy, you know, reels and TikToks, but if no one's watching them and you're not growing, are you gonna feel like it's worth putting all that time and effort versus just like doing a trending audio reel and then getting viral and, you know, growing and showing your art that way? You know, that's really my point. Like, what is your goal? And I mean this for people who are trying to be artists professionally. Like, I don't mean this to any person who just finds joy in posting their artwork and doesn't look to get profit from it, because yeah, some of us want to be artists professionally and make it our career. So finding, you know, your path in that and navigating through technology and the concepts of what it means to be an artist, I think it's just helpful to know and to just talk about. I really do want to encourage talking about art and having discussions and being like respectful, having points, and just having an engagement about art and the culture of art. So yeah, thank you. If you like this video, let me know, and goodbye.